Welcome to Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and the seaweed situation. I'm on the beach this morning and I'm going to give you an update on the seaweed.
I was just a glimmer back in 69. Thank you.
Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. I think this is maybe my third video I've done on the seaweed, or third update, and same situation here. Another beautiful day, probably 8:15 in the morning, heading down to the beach. Sun's up, not really too many clouds, and the difference today as I walk around here is that the last few days I could really smell the beach before I got to it. So maybe 400 or 500 meters before I got to the beach, I could smell it. That's how bad the seaweed was. Today I can't smell it. So I don't know what's different here, but we're gonna go for a walk and we're gonna check out the seaweed situation. Okay, so it doesn't look really bad. I can see off in the distance there, maybe 100 meters down the beach, they're cleaning it up. They could probably clean this up pretty easily. A couple things I've noticed, it's not really up higher on the beach. Before it was kind of higher on the beach. Now I don't know if that's because of the tides, but it just seems like it's closer to the water. The other thing is, I don't see any big clumps of seaweed in the water. Usually, you know, within the first 100 meters you can see big kind of dark clumps of seaweed, but I don't see that today. And the big thing, as I said, I don't smell anything. The smell was brutal maybe 3 days ago, and the smell isn't that bad. I'm not sure if that's because of the wind coming off the water. I'm not sure if that's water temperature, because it's starting to heat up now. We're getting to the end of February here. Now I see this big pile in front of me and I can smell it. That stinks. So I don't know if that seaweed's older, and like I've read, after 48 hours it becomes toxic. So I think the main priority for these people working here is to get this stuff off the beach within the 48 hours before it becomes toxic. Now maybe this is from yesterday, but I'm telling you, this section right here stinks. I'm looking out into the water. I don't see any big clumps of seaweed within the first 100 to 200 meters out into the water. I don't see any big brown sections. So I don't see a lot of seaweed out there. Now, does that mean a lot of seaweed's not coming in today? I don't know. I've decided to take my shoes, socks, whatever, sandals off today, and I'm just going to walk along the beach here between the seaweed and the water. I'm going to be in and out of the water. I want to see what it feels like to walk on. I want to see what it feels like when it's brushing up against me in the water, and see how abrasive it is. So this section here, they look like they've spent some time. They've cleaned it up. It does not smell bad. I can say that the water on my feet, water is nice and warm. I'd love to go in swimming, but every time the water comes in, I am feeling the seaweed. I am standing on it, and it's brushing up against me. So if you don't like swimming with stuff brushing up against you, seaweed and stuff like that, you probably don't want to swim here. I look into the water here, I do see a little bit of seaweed. I don't see any big clumps of it, but you can't go in here and swim without seaweed brushing up against you. Let's just put it that way. Now, how healthy is it? I don't know. I've heard that it's okay if it brushes up against you. The only bad stories I've heard is that people are getting stung by little jellyfish that are in the seaweed, but that's with the bigger clumps. I don't see it in the small clumps here. So all I'm going to say is I'm going to walk along the beach here. It doesn't feel that weird underneath my feet or brushing up against me. Last video I did, or last time I was out on the beach, I did a real close-up of the seaweed and I saw thousands of little bugs flying around in it, but that seaweed had been out of the water for a prolonged period of time. This seaweed seems like it's just coming out of the water now, and I'm just going to go down, pick it up, and see if there's a whole bunch of bugs in it. The other thing is to see if there's any jellyfish in it, to see if there's anything wrong there. You can get stung. I don't see any flies, I don't see any jellyfish. I've been walking along the beach here, I've been walking in it, it's been brushing up against me and nothing is stinging me. That fishing boat just dropped at anchor right there, and I wonder what he's fishing for right there. Because if he's fishing for something big, I go out swimming about that far, so whatever he's fishing might have access to me, and not good. Well, there's my seaweed update for the week. It doesn't look that bad. It definitely doesn't smell today, but earlier on this week it stunk, and I hear that it's going to get progressively worse. They were expecting seaweed at the end of March. This is the end of February, and we've had it for the last, 3 weeks I've been here. I've been doing updates on it all the time. So the seaweed is here, and it's here real early, and it's been really smelly. So thanks for coming along for the walk. I'll see you next week with an update. Thanks for coming out and supporting my channel. I'm just going to leave you with a couple seconds here of the beach. Beautiful Playa del Carmen beach and the sunrise. Ciao for now.